I know what time it is. Didn't get one done yesterday, so it's time to get it. Man, the lighting tonight, by the way, lit by the television. Okay, let's get him. What's up, Josh? Good to see you. Oh,
I messed up your.
yeah, go ahead and turn that off, Sherry.
Turn it off. Okay.
Yeah, turn it off. This lighting is, yeah, that's much more dramatic and better, more dynamic.
I want you to be seen.
Thank you. First movie. This surprising, fantastic film, The Creator, directed by Gareth Edwards.
That movie is good.
Man, this movie is good. It stars John David Washington, who, complete transparency, I was not a mad, like, John David Washington fan. I saw Black Klansman. I saw him in Tenet. That's pretty standard action and comedy fare, but what he did in The Creator just really revealed how talented an actor he is. So, a wonderful depth of emotion. Allison Janney is heavy in this, but she also just brings so much pathos to it. It's like, she reminded me in terms of complex villains, like Gene Hackman in Unforgiven, Little Bill. She's that kind of a character. It's go see the old coaster from Young Rock, the one who played. Oh yeah, awesome, man, fantastic. Glad to hear it. The Creator. Oh, also Ken Watanabe is in it. The visual effects are mind blowing, and the film feels like a very big story, but they've made it very small. Like if there's, Sherry and I went to go see it, and we're just absolutely captivated by how visually dynamic it was and how intensely moving it was, and it really is. It's a Frankenstein story, really, and it's, as you can see here on the disc art, there's this child's face, but he has like a cyborg head, and he's basically an artificial intelligence. And the question that is posed in the film is, what is life? It's very interesting to me. It was really well explored, and a very moving and surprising film. Just highly recommend The Creator. It came out, I think, last year. Kind of came out, I don't know how much money it made or whatever, but it really hung with me. Highly recommend. Next one, another one of these terrific Arrow discs. Now the background is, I don't know, it's very dynamic. It's a screensaver. Arrow, this does such fantastic work. This is Guillermo del Toro's Crimson Peak, with Tom Hiddleston. I've yet to watch this disc, but I'm a fan of not only what Arrow does, but his work as well. And Gothic horror is cool. A little bit of a blind buy. So Arrow does these big sales where it's like, 3 for $30, and you're like, well, for that, it's worth taking the risk. All right. So Crimson Peak, I'll let you know how it is. But with Arrow, you can't go wrong. There's always a lot of terrific stuff. I love the variety background. Okay, next. This is one of my favorite films from 2001, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I've seen this in the theater a couple times. I remember being so excited about this coming out. I mean, Ang Lee directing Chow Yun-fat and Michelle Yeoh, and oh man, it's just such a moving film. And I gotta say, when I saw it in the theater, I don't know that I really fully understood. I think we watched the subtitled version and went there. It just speaks to me about how movies don't change. Like, they are immutable, right? Like, they're set, they're like a boilerplate stamps them into their place in history, and then we change. And we re-engage with a certain film later, and it hits you in totally different ways. So when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, when I saw Crouching Tiger, we were all so excited to see. It was new. Like, I remember talking with Keegan about this when this was coming out. We were all just so jazzed. Like, here comes Hong Kong action, but like made through an artistic lens. Like, Hero came out shortly after, another just breathtakingly beautiful Asian film with Jet Li and oh my God, Donnie Yen. It's breathtaking. But Crouching Tiger, when we went to see it in the theater, it was like, oh man, it was all about the action, all about the action. I watched it maybe 3 or 4 months ago here. Like, I got up one Saturday morning, I wasn't teaching, Sherry was still sleeping, the kid was sleeping, I just popped it on, and at the end of it was just devastated by the love story and the unrequited love and the stoic responsibility of duty and supplicating one's self for what one believed had other values like loyalty or being reliable or whatever those values are, but putting love and not giving it equal weight. And boy, I had changed. I had lived another 20 years, and while the action sequence were still dynamic, the relationship between Chow Yun-fat and Michelle Yeoh was everything. And also, oh my God, I don't know how to pronounce her name, so I won't swing at it. But the young girl who steals the sword, the Green Destiny, from Chow Yun-fat, like her journey throughout too, of like her headstrongness and her desire to be free as well. Oh God, it's a masterpiece, and I didn't really fully appreciate it until recently. And that's part of the reason why I hold on to these things, is that some of these pictures will just hit you in the chest in a way that, you know, before it was like, oh man, that fight sequence when they were grabbing the sword and then she grabbed the mace and then grabbed the big like lance, like it was everything, or the fight in the tea house or whatever. And now it's like, yeah, the fights are great, but oh my God. All right. Alex Proyas, The Crow. This is not the remake. This is the original with Brandon Lee, his final film. Michael Wincott, Ernie Hudson. Shot, or at least set in Detroit. One of my strongest memories of this picture, and part of the reason why I have it, is I remember going to see this with my ex-wife back in Tennessee. We were so excited to see it, and I don't know what happened, but it was when Michael Wincott was getting ready to eat the eyeball, and it was too upsetting, and we ended up leaving the movie early, and I missed out on it, and never went back and saw it. And so I think part of the reason I got this now is I just remember being swept up by the style of it and wanting to stick around. But then my concern for my wife at the time was like, oh, you know, you're having a horrible reaction to this movie. Let's get out of here. And I never went back to finish it. So I was like, well, I'm going to finish it. I have finished it, but I don't remember it making that massive of an impact on me. But again, this is about the style and also the tribute to Brandon Lee as well. So, yeah, there you go. The Crow. Sam Raimi, Liam Neeson, Larry Drake, Darkman. Man, this movie is so cool and crazy. And like, before Sam Raimi did Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure that's when we got Darkman. And it's this kind of crazy bridge between the Evil Dead movies and Spider-Man, right? Liam Neeson is fantastic. And quick story, before I'll do one more after this one. Where when I first got to Los Angeles and got in at my talent agency, my voiceover talent agency, CESD, one of the coolest things about going in to do auditions is sitting in the lobby and the other actors who come in and sit down in the lobby. And one day I'm in there and I look up from my copy and I see that Larry Drake is sitting there, and Larry Drake is in Darkman. I know he had a full career, but he was really well known from LA Law and then Dr. Giggles. And we started chatting, and he was the kindest man, like so sweet and so attentive. And he pulled out a business card and wrote his name and phone number on it and gave it to me. It was like, anytime, please reach out. I'd love to get to know you better and welcome you to Los Angeles. And we just had the greatest time. And not terribly long after he passed, and I never got the opportunity to get to know him better. But Darkman is one of those movies that lives kind of crazily rent free in that like late 90s, early 2000s, like just Sam Raimi style of creepy funny, and Darkman really threads that needle. All right. Last one for tonight. The 4K UHD of Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead. Now, this is I think this is Zack's first feature. And I remember seeing this in Cleveland with Sherry and with our friend Randall, who was in our cast. And Lauren, who was also in our cast. And she had gone to Penn. Because she knew Ty. She knew Ty Burrell.
Yeah,
so when we were there, we're watching the movie, and then Ty Burrell shows up, who's now on Modern Family and everything. But so we were all like geeked because we knew someone in the movie, and Sarah Polley. And man, Zack Snyder's remake of that film has everything: fast zombies, real scares, and the title sequence is what haunted me the most. When I think about that movie, the first thing that jumps to mind is kind of the cold open where the outbreak happens and Sarah Polley's driving home from the hospital, and there's a car driving down the freeway and a helicopter's looking down, and another car comes up to the stop sign and it doesn't stop and just rams right into the car that was driving along the freeway that you are following. And it was such a layer of chaos and terror of just that simple action that told me this is not your typical Dawn of the Dead. And then the title sequence where they play When the Man Comes Around by Johnny Cash, intercut with screams and splats of blood and all this other madness. But boy,
I didn't think he was going to go see it with us.
I'm not a horror person, and Sherry was like, "You're gonna come see this thing," and I was like, "I'm in, let's do it." So there we were with them in that mall, and then the movie finishes, and then it's done, and then we have the credits. And then it keeps going. And where you really get the bleak despair of, okay, the movie's done, but things don't turn out well for our heroes after. It's just a masterclass in tension. Matt Frewer's in it. That's right. I forgot the guy who played Max Headroom. It's just a wonderful cast in this shopping mall. But the thing that stuck with me about Zack's filmmaking too in that is it's a pretty straight narrative. Like it doesn't, his style that he really honed in 300 and again in Sucker Punch and then in Watchmen as well, where you get more of the of the slow motion and that kind of stuff. I feel like Dawn of the Dead is a pretty straightforward thriller. I mean, it's a horror movie, but it feels more of a thriller than a straight horror. Would you agree with that?
Hell no.
Okay.
That movie was scary. Garage, the parking garage sequence lives rent free in my head. I think about that parking garage sequence when I'm in a parking garage by myself because there's zombies down in there.
Is that the first time that there are fast zombies in a movie?
The zombies are pretty quick in World War Z, but I don't.
But that was after.
That was after.
World War Z came after Dawn of the Dead, and this Dawn of the Dead, while it does have a lot of standing around zombies when they're not pursuing something, when they are pursuing, they're running at human speed. 28 days later, too.
28 days later, yeah.
Yeah.
That has the zombies are pretty quick in that as well.
Yeah. But it's not your slow, staggery.
You could run
Shaun of the Dead.
Zombie.
Yeah. You could run from those zombies. You could throw records and hit that zombie.
Oh, and what's the British one?
28 Days Later?
No, the other one.
Not Shaun.
Shaun of the Dead?
Yeah, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, the zombies get creepy in that, in the pub scene.
In the pub scene.
Yeah. It's pretty horrifying. All right. I said that was the last one. I'm going to do one more. I might do two. Sylvester Stallone. Rob Cohen directs Daylight.
I love that movie.
I love Daylight so much.
I used to own it on videotape.
Sherry had it on VHS. It just recently came out on 4K from Kino Lorber. It's directed by Rob Cohen, who really knows how to make a great, fun action picture. My first experience with Rob Cohen was, that I remember anyway, was Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, which is coming up. Really terrific picture. But here, Juliana Margulies, is that right?
Oh my God, I think so, yeah.
See, the Juliana Margulies, I could look it up. It's not Amy Brenneman. She's in Heat. But Juliana Margulies and Sylvester Stallone and Stan Shaw and Viggo Mortensen. And basically what happens is it's kind of like the reverse of Cliffhanger, where Stallone is an EMT and the Lincoln Tunnel is trapped on both sides, and he leads a group of people trying to get out of this tunnel. One of Sherry's favorite movies is the Poseidon Adventure.
Poseidon Adventure in a tunnel.
Yeah, it's Poseidon Adventure in a tunnel.
Stallone.
With Stallone.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. And his son is in it.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah. I think that's right. And I just remember there's a dumb action piece in there where there's like an electrical cord that's like arcing and there's water and it's going to electrify everybody. But then Juliana Margulies puts two shoes on her hands to like catch.
I love it so much.
To catch the thing. But here's why I love it. It's not just really great action, and it is great action.
And if anybody is in town and they want to watch that movie, I will watch that movie in the backyard.
Yes.
I will put that movie on in a minute.
Yeah, in a minute. Daylight's one of those movies, like Cliffhanger in that way. Stallone just knows how to do it right, and I gotta say, it's moving. Like it's just really, really good. And that's why I have Daylight. I still have the cover right there. All right. Three more and then I'm done. All right. Tom Cruise, NASCAR, Days of Thunder, Nicole Kidman, Robert Duvall. Oh my God. Randy Quaid, Michael Rooker. This movie, directed by Tony Scott, looks like nothing else. The way this movie is shot, it looks like the whole film is just color corrected with orange. Just orange on the top and then black on the bottom. But it shoots North Carolina so beautifully. And I didn't understand NASCAR. I went in completely blind to Days of Thunder, but I really got swept up in this movie. In particular, there's the typical Tom Cruise, like cocky badass, and but he really truly does go on a journey in this film to face his own fears and demons and arrogance. Oh, John C. Reilly's in this too. And man, I remember Siskel and Ebert talking about how good Robert Duvall is in this movie. And then they show this clip where, like, because he's the crew chief, and there's a scene going on between Randy Quaid and Tom Cruise, and they're having a big conversation. And then you see way in the background is Robert Duvall, and he's just walking around in the scene, but not in the scene, but still in the scene. And that, it's kind of a... You use the word masterclass far too often, and I don't know that it's necessarily that, but it just reminds you of how wonderful an actor he is, in particular in the scenes where he's building the cars. And as a director, there's a sequence that I've taken really close to heart. One where Tom Cruise is driving around the let me stick to the names of the characters. Cole Treacle is driving his car around the course, around the trail, the track, and Robert Duvall says, you're burning up these tires, and you're doing this, you're doing that, and you're shimmying and doing all this other stuff. And Cole Treacle finally says, look, I don't understand what any of that means. I don't understand the words that are coming out of your head. And Robert Duvall's like, well, that's because you're so arrogant or whatever. And it's just like, no, I know how to drive. I just don't know the rules of what NASCAR is. And when Duvall gets over his own prejudices about the difference between his generation and this younger generation and begins actually teaching the man, then they're able to connect. And they do this sequence where he's like, I want you to drive as hard as you can, 100 laps. And then I want you to drive, honestly, 100 laps with me telling you how to do it. And then we're going to compare your time and we're going to compare your tires. And it's in that exercise where they discover each other. And I've had to find ways to explore that idea and find ways to express that to students in the past, both in sketch comedy and in voiceover, to be like, look, I'm not trying to tell you how to do it, but I am trying to see if you give me an honest run and take this direction to heart and see where it leads you. I just want to see how it feels and how it manifests in your work. And it helps us find a deeper connection. So I was paying attention and tried to learn how to be a better director and teacher from Robert Duvall and Days of Thunder. All right, second to last movie for tonight. Arrow's recent release of Deep Blue Sea. Thomas Jane, LL Cool J, Stellan Skarsgård, Samuel L. Jackson, Michael Rappaport, oh my God, Saffron Burrows, Ronnie Cox he doesn't speak in the film. And then, I mean, it's, we're making sharks smarter. It's aliens, but with sharks in the ocean. But man, these Arrow discs, again, I cannot highlight enough how terrific the supplementals are on here. And even on a 4K, a lot of 4Ks generally just don't compromise space for additional content. So you'll just get high quality version of the movie, maybe a trailer, but usually not. And then on the Blu-ray, you'll get the movie, and then you'll also get like 2 hours worth of supplementals. But here on the 4K, they've included some documentaries. And one of the pieces in the documentary is how they made all of these sharks practical. That blows my mind. That they built remote control, animatronic, swimming sharks that function. And you can really see it. And I took these sharks totally for granted. And now living in the era where we see so many things with CG, and there are some CG shots in here for sure, but like there's way more practical work with these sharks, and it really does make a difference. Yeah, this movie deserves another watch. This is Rennie Harlin, I think. I'm pretty sure Rennie Harlin directed Deep Blue Sea. Rennie Harlin, we've talked already about Cliffhanger. He directed Cliffhanger. Die Hard 2, Rennie Harlin directed. Cutthroat Island, The Long Kiss Goodnight. Of course, he married Gina Davis and put her in a lot of his pictures, but solid action director. All right, last movie. We talked about City of Last Children a couple nights ago. Tonight, I want to talk about Delicatessen by Jeanette and Caro. Apologies for mispronouncing their French names. French filmmakers who you may know their film Amélie. They did Aliens Resurrection. But this is the first picture I saw of theirs from the 90s with Dominique Pignon. This film is an unbelievable comedy set in a apartment complex where everybody is connected through the vent system, and a mime circus performer played by Dominique Pignon moves into this post-apocalyptic sort of apartment complex and changes the environment. It's a dark little, eating human type of a movie, but it's a very dark comedy, and it is extraordinary. The movie trailer is actually this sequence where they have, speaking of how everyone is connected, there's these portals that are, like just the vents. And the landlord is in his bedroom with his mistress on a rusty mattress, and they are partaking in an act of lovemaking. And the squeaky springs is going through all of the ventilation to each of the different rooms. And in every different room, there's a different action that's happening. Like one woman is practicing her violin. And then Dominique Pignon, the circus performer, is using his suspenders and painting the ceiling with a roller and rocking back and forth, painting the ceiling. And then another guy is making, I don't know if you remember these toys that's like a little tuna can, but it has a cow on it. And when you turn it upside down and then turn it back up, it goes, so he's making those, with a drill press, and other things are being done. So as the couple are getting closer and closer to climax, it's increasing tempo like a metronome for every other action that's happening throughout the apartment complex. And it's absolutely bonkers and hilarious. I saw this film my junior or senior year of college at the Quad 4. The Quad 4 was a dollar theater in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I saw, Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Big Trouble in Little China there, and they would sell movie posters when the movie was done. I saw, Big Trouble in Little China, I saw twice in 24 hours. I saw Goodfellas there, and it just jumped out of my head. It doesn't matter. Years ago. But because it was like sort of crazy second run theater, they would dedicate one screen to bringing in art films. So Peter Greenaway's Cook, Thief, Wife, Lover, and Delicatessen, and Breaking the Waves, and all kinds of things would come through. Wong Kar-wai pictures, all that stuff. So that was where I saw Delicatessen, and it's made such an impact on a formidable impact on comedy for me, in particular on physical comedy. Like, I know I just saw Darren Bailey popped on here, and I know Darren, I'm certain, has seen this film and also appreciates it in the same way. It is it's Chaplin-esque, and to see it filtered through a dystopic lens is also very exciting. And I'm just thrilled that Studio Canal released it in 4K. It's a breathtaking, crazy, unpredictable film, and I love it. All right. Far too many movies tonight, way more than I anticipated, but I love them. So there you go. Picking up with some more tomorrow night. Peace. Physical media forever. Have a great night. And thanks for popping in and commenting. And Mikey Daddy, again, going to see my old cast member from Young Rock, the one who played one of the Wild Samoans. Arthur. Oh, yeah. Awesome. She's probably going to go see Tui when he comes to town for Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Con. All right. Peace.